everybody. Welcome back. It's the Shawn Yankey Show. It's Monday. It's 7 Central, 8 Eastern, whatever time it is, wherever you're at. It's time for the show. So come on in. We're going to get started in just a minute. I give you just a little bit of time to get in, like and share, settle, say hi, all that. So all that's important. Plus, I need a little bit of time to make sure that we're streaming and we're up everywhere. And I think we're good on all the platforms. Looks like we're up everywhere. Welcome to the show. Please participate. This is a comment-driven show and a conversational show at its core. I have conversation starters picked out that I'm going to talk about, but we can get into absolutely everything, and we always do. So come on in and hang out with us for a little while and share this out. We're an independent little show, so I depend on you guys to get this out. I shared it all I could. They put you in Facebook jail, you shared too much. They got me on heavy lockdown. For a long time, I wasn't able to do watch parties on Facebook. For YouTube and Periscope, watch parties are these things on Facebook where you can watch a video with other people, and they're a really good way to get views and viewers to a stream. For whatever reason, they attract people really well. So I do them from time to time, but I am blocked again from doing them. I'm not allowed. Facebook is Big Brother, you know. Big Brother is now corporate. Hey Kilo, good to see you. Let's see, who's here on Facebook? Joan, hey Joan. Dale, good to see you. Lisa. Connie. Jeannie. Please turn the mic up. 3 likes. Let me see. I'm all the way up. Are we having a problem with the sound? Because the audio test, all I can test it with is the music. That's what the music is for. But it sounded fine. It sounded normal. If there's a problem with the mic, I apologize. I don't know what it would be. I will look into it because I've been getting complaints from time to time about the sound. So I'll try to figure that out. But I am maxed out on what I can see, and everything looks good in the levels when I'm looking at it. But I will try to figure that out after the feed. Kilo says it's good on YouTube, and Jeannie says I hear you just fine. So okay, maybe it was just because the music was going. Maybe that's what it was. That is a little distracting. It kind of pulls from my voice during that part when I'm kind of easing it out. But you said you can barely hear it tonight, huh? Well, I'll have to figure out what's going on with that and try to fix that moving forward. So we tweak it a little bit as we go. I'm just figuring out what I'm doing. It's just independent little show. Connie says still Sanders. I'm going to like that comment. I get it. But, man, I'm still so hurt about what Bernie did. And, you know, I get that he's still working and he's still doing good work. But he broke my heart with what he did. And, you know, and calling us irresponsible if we can't support Joe Biden. If, you know, and what would he say about me? I intend to work directly against Joe Biden as aggressively as I possibly can. And anybody who takes his place when he implodes. Because a lot of people have told me that he won't be... Volume is low. Steve says it too. Guys, I don't know. Yep, everybody on Facebook is saying that the volume is low. I apologize. I can't fix it in the moment. I will have to try to figure out in settings afterwards what went wrong. Because I don't know what it is. I can't do anything about it in the moment right now. Everything I can do, I've done. So I apologize. Steve says, speak up. All right. I'm going to keep trying to be louder, but I'm like right on the microphone and I have pretty good volume to my voice. So I know that's not the issue. It's something else. I don't know what it is. I'm looking at the settings. My audio rate looks good. Everything looks good. The levels look good. I apologize. Um, Dale says sounds fine. I'm starting to wonder about some of you guys' hearing. No, I'm just kidding. I know there's audio problems from time to time, and I want to get a better mic. So this is a good opportunity to go ahead and do a plug for the show. You can support this show. We have a link in the description to Patreon. This is an independent journalism type show. I want to do more investigative journalism type things, but we need to grow to be able to do that kind of stuff. If you want to help support the show, you can on Patreon. The link is in the description. I just used that opportunity to do a commercial. I hate doing commercials, honestly. I really hate it. But, crowdfunding is the only way to do something like what I'm trying to do. It is the absolute only way because everything along the lines of what I'm interested in talking about, the only things that I'm interested in discussing would be the truth. That is being suppressed. Anything against the narrative, which is a lie, it's all lies. Anytime you try to expose it, it's shut down. So I don't even know what to do anymore, honestly. I don't know how to move forward in that environment. It's very discouraging as a content creator trying to, you know, get truth out there and expose what's really going on. It's impossible almost. Gene says no apologies needed. Kathy, hey Kathy. Brittany said sound has been fine on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's different browsers. I can't understand it because I know that from time to time we have issues like this, but I apologize and we will improve. We've come a long way. Anybody who has been with these streams, because I've been doing this for a little while, everybody who's been here a while knows that we've come a long way. Everything has improved a lot and it will get better as we go. Kathy says, I'm tired of the market-driven only way because everything along the... Wait a minute. You got cut off or something. I'm not seeing the whole comment, at least. Joan says, I may cancel my TYT and give my membership to you. What? That's amazing because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know really what we're doing much anymore. I was doing the Daily Burn every night. That was the show that gave birth to this one. And that was, I knew exactly what that was. It was very easy to prepare for. I mean, it was work. It was hard to do. But it was easy to prepare for. I knew exactly what we were going to be talking about pretty much every night. This, it's still taking form. So that means a lot to me that you're digging it. Because I'm struggling. A lot of times I'm really fighting every night with what to put together to talk about. And I'm fighting against the fact that everything that I want to talk about is heavily suppressed and censored. And anytime I bring up sensitive topics, immediately the videos are demonetized on YouTube. Because the algorithm just watches for words. It doesn't matter what I title the video or what I put in the description. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The computer is picking out everything you're saying and analyzing it all and judging for itself whether or not it's safe for advertisers. And anything outside of the narrative, the official narrative that's being pushed, is not safe. That's the way they gloss it over. What they're really doing is extreme censorship but it's corporatized. And everybody just looks the other way. So they're like, well, YouTube can do whatever they want. Google can do whatever they want. Facebook can do whatever they want. They're private corporations. Okay, but the marketplace is now online. This is the only place to do something like what I'm trying to do, and the only way to get it out. So they're kind of like a utility at that point. They have a monopoly on these types of sharing information. And I don't think at that point that it is the same thing as just some private corporation being able to do whatever they want. I don't think they get to do that anymore when they become basically, like I was saying, a utility. They're a necessity. Yeah, Joan, that creeps me out. Joan just said at least Facebook writes everything out for me. Facebook does live closed captioning. And it blows me away. Because YouTube, you want closed captioning on your YouTube video, you got to write it out. You got to type that stuff out. But Facebook is watching you so closely that they can live caption a live stream. That creeps me out. But that's what I'm talking about. The algorithm, the computers are watching us. Big Brother is corporatized. They've done everything that, like 1984, all these dystopian, nightmare, futuristic novels and movies told you they were going to do. It just did it in a different way. They're real slick about it. Joan says you haven't watched TYT since you found this show. That's awesome. I'm impressed because that's how I learn any of this, is by watching others and trying to pick up whatever I can from what they're doing. Hey, Susan. The next thing I wanted to talk about was I'm a dork, and today is May the 4th, so I have to say this, especially to you guys. May the 4th be with you. I'm such a dork. I love Star Wars, and I always have, and I really love that it's still around. And, you know, like me and my son had a tradition of going to them when they came out in theaters, all these newest ones. So it was neat because I grew up on those movies. So it's just cool, and I wanted to mention it because it is the 4th of May. So may the 4th be with you. And go ahead and get this out there because I'm sure you've heard it. But if you haven't, giant murder hornets exist. That's fun, right? And they're here. They've come to America. The Asian giant hornet, also known as the murder hornet, can kill a human with just a few stings and has been spotted in the United States, in Washington State, to be exact. And this thing is scary. The stats on this thing, this hornet, the murder hornet, is on average 1.5 to 2 inches long with about a 3-inch wingspan. And its stinger is a 1/4 inch long. And it's strong enough to puncture a beekeeper suit. And it's here now in the United States. Nobody knows how, but it is. And it'll be breeding and killing because that's what it does. So, are we going to blame China for this too? You see they're blaming China for the Rona. They're talking about, it kind of depends on who you listen to. The Trump administration and officials are blaming a lab in Wuhan for leaking the Rona. But the intelligence community, you know, that reliable group of intelligence organizations, they say there's no evidence for this. But see, the reason I think that they say that is, well, let me see how I want to come at this. Because I was finding it very interesting that we would be blaming China and blaming this lab in Wuhan, this that makes does research on. Why do I always forget something when I'm trying to recall it? But on viruses and bioweapons and trying to enhance viruses to see if they can fight them. I cannot, for the life of me right now, remember exactly the term for that. But this is the research done at this lab. And what I was saying about glass houses is, and we were funding that research. So, do we really want to talk about this maybe being a bioweapon that got out when we were involved in funding that research? You know, Dr. Fauci was directly involved with funding that research. And let's see. Oh, all that sound topic talk, I missed a lot of comments on YouTube. Kilo said we were good here, so see, I told you. I told you. He says he hasn't watched TYT in months. I haven't watched them in a really long time either. I haven't watched them since after the 2016 primary, when Cenk, Cenk, I don't know how to say his name. If I'm butchering it, I do that all the time. I don't know the right way to say it, but when he basically backed out and sold all the progressives out and went with the establishment, I stopped watching them. Kilo says they're trying to save face. Who is? The government blaming China? Well, I don't know. You live in a glass house. You were funding this research. You know, they do this kind of research all the time. We have facilities that do this. You know, I have done videos on this before, but I believe that other viruses have been leaked out of facilities like this. For instance, Lyme disease. From Plum Island, the bioweapons facility, it just moved to Kansas, but it used to be at Plum Island, and there's lots of evidence that Lyme disease came from there. So it wouldn't be the first time this happened, and if it did happen, our fingerprints are on it. So I don't know that it's cool to be blaming them. I don't know how much you want to be doing that, because you're going to expose that it leads back to a lot of these people that are connected to the pandemic response team, and like Bill Gates, Fauci. Brittany says, may the 4th be with you. Who isn't a Star Wars nerd? Everybody should love Star Wars. They're just awesome movies. I think they're great. But some people are Star Trek fans, and apparently you can't be both. I don't know what the thing is with that. I think it's fine to like both. I don't understand. But apparently there's a lot of people that are fiercely loyal, and you got to like one or the other. Joan says it came from Japan. You know, there's other places, and you know, other countries have different news. That might blow a lot of people away. But we have weaponized propaganda here in the United States. Other countries are even talking about how it may have come from here. You know, everyone's pointing fingers at everyone. But I think it's weird that we would start pointing fingers at China when we just covered it like 3 or 4 days ago, that the organization that Fauci heads was funding the research. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Blue. Oh, it's pronounced Jank. Jank. How? It's C-N-K, C-E-N-K. How is that pronounced Jank? That's weird. Language is weird. Sometimes it's so hard. Like, I'm impressed with people that can learn multiple languages. I don't know how you pull that off. Daniel says, should no longer listen to these governors. And they tell us we should stay inside for safety. No longer go to the beach. Stay away from people. This is tyranny. We should fight against all orders they give and oppose them. Strong act of defiance. Did you see they're trying to make Elon Musk out as crazy because Elon Musk was speaking out against the lockdowns? I am crazy as well, I guess. And people would call me a COVID idiot. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not super concerned. I don't see the reason for any of this. I've been complaining about it, but I've been having to wear a mask at work now. I don't I don't see the reason for it. I think a lot of things are being done under the guise of this fear under this pandemic. And I think it's more of a pandemic. Especially, now that's why I think it's funny that they're pointing out this lab in Wuhan, how it may have leaked out of this lab. Well, they were funding the damn research. They were involved. So, you really want that exposed? Oh, the murder wasp came from Japan. Yeah, I didn't know. I just knew it was Asian. I didn't look into it. I just wanted to make that little jab. Are we going to blame this on China too? Because, you know, what do we think somebody? Because they were talking about it on Fox, trying to figure out how it got there. Who knows how it got there? You think somebody brought it in a box and let it out? Maybe. I don't. But the intelligence agencies, they say there's no evidence, and China won't let anyone investigate. So, and I'm not saying they didn't cover things up, but they would have been part of a bigger plan that I think the elites are all involved in, including our own. The guy that's up there every day at the podium, Fauci, his organization was funding this exact thing. Then Bill Gates is funding multiple war games, planning out the reaction and the response and all of that to deal with this. And it's all just neatly in place, and nobody raises an eyebrow, nobody gets concerned. And that's what gets frustrating doing stuff like this. You don't know what to cover or how to cover it. Because A, you're going to be shut down if you speak out against what's being said in the media. And B, no one wants to hear it. So it gets frustrating. But I keep losing place here. I'm trying to follow the comments. I need to get a second screen. I need to matrix this thing up and get a second screen so that I can see the comments at the same time. I have to go from tab to tab, and it's very distracting. It's hard to keep my train of thought doing it, actually. Kilo says we've been blaming others for a bit for everything, and we're screwed. I have to agree with the we're screwed. I don't want to, but I have to. It don't look good. We need to wake people up. Everybody needs to wake up really quick. I know I'm preaching to the choir in here, but we got to start waking people up. We got to get people to open their eyes to what's going on. This is a pre-planned agenda. There is a document that I wish Lori was here tonight, but I was watching a stream of hers on Sunday, and she was covering this document. It goes way into detail about everything that's happening right now. It's all pre-planned. It's the game. They have these agendas that they want to do, things they want to get done, things they want to implement. And every time they get an opportunity, they squeeze a little bit more of it in. But this document, and we're going to cover it Wednesday night. Wednesday night is pretty much conspiracy themed. That's what we're going to stick with for a while going forward. We used to do a conspiracy theory show on Wednesday nights, but now I think on Wednesday nights we're going to cover them. But it's not a conspiracy. This is a real document. It would just blow your mind. It goes into everything that's happening right now. That there would be a pandemic, and this is from, I don't know, at least 10 years ago. I don't remember the exact date on the document. I wish she was here. She could tell you. But you can download it. Anybody can download it. That's what I'm saying. All this stuff is out there. They rub it in your face. But then when you talk about it and you expose it, they throttle your videos, bury you in the algorithm, make sure nobody sees it, and that it can't get out there. Or they just completely demonetize or pull down your channel, different things. Keep it down. Susan says, how about Biden doubling down on Medicare for all? He's such an asshole. At least he's being honest. You know, it's a moment of honesty. He is an asshole. He's always been that way, though. You know, he's been consistent. He's a Republican. If you go off his record, you know, of all the flaws, but just politically, Biden is a Republican. Yeah, we do need Medicare for all more than ever, and it's very obvious. But he represents those that are interested in making sure that that never happens because they don't want their greed brought to an end. They don't want their gravy train to end, you know, and that's what that would do. That would cut that off. So they don't want Medicare for all. And we're the last country in our economic status to not guarantee health care to our people and to have a greed-driven healthcare system. The only one. It's ridiculous. And most Americans aren't aware of that stuff. And that's what I mean by waking them up. How do you do that when they're going to suppress every attempt to do so? I'm being serious. Is the smartest thing to do is like just have your own website? But then they can take that away as well, couldn't they? I mean, they can make sure no one sees it for sure. Bury it in their search engine. Yeah, Blue. Biden and honest does not compute. But he's being honest when he tells you that he'd veto Medicare for all. He's not being honest about why he would. He's not straight out coming out and telling you the exact reasons, but he's being honest when he tells you he would. That's what he's about. That's what stopping the burning movement was about. Making sure that we're pushed back down and told no. You can't have that. And gatekeepers, that's what they are. They make sure that no progressive agenda gets through. Yeah, doubling down on being an asshole. Well, you know, he's barely got it together. I'm surprised his wife didn't have to make the statement for him. But something fun I wanted to talk about really quick, just to get it out. Make sure I bring it up. I put it in the description of the show tonight. But Mike Tyson is coming back to boxing. Isn't that crazy? He's 53 years old. He's going to return to the ring for exhibition fights. 3 to 4 round exhibition fights. And it wouldn't be professional fights. They wouldn't count on his record or anything. But, you know, there's been a lot of money made in exhibition fights lately. Floyd Mayweather's made a lot of money in exhibition fights. And so he wants to get back in the ring at 53. I thought that was cool. I hope he doesn't get hurt. That's my big concern with it, but he's going to give the money to charities, he says. Because I don't know if you knew this, but he's actually got a successful marijuana business right now. He owns the Tyson Ranch Marijuana Farm. And he also has a podcast that's pretty popular, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. But it took a long time, but he's gotten his life together. But I guess he's gotten it together to the point where he's ready to box again. Because I had seen an interview with him on Joe Rogan where he talked about he was afraid to even train, to work out on a heavy bag at all, because it brought out too much violence in him. So he must have really come a long way. Blue says Ventura. Is he going to run? Has there been any new information as far as that goes? I know he had expressed a desire to be the Green Party nominee. It would be very smart for them to do that if they could. I would think that'd be a great idea, and he would be fantastic, and it would be awesome to get him on the debate stage. Yeah, stick it to the man at every opportunity, Susan. F the establishment. Absolutely. They're the enemy of us all, and they're on both sides of the political arena. The game is on both sides. It's not just the Democrats. A lot of times when people say establishment, they think you're talking about the Democrats. It's They're all in it together. It's a big club. We're not in it, and F the man. Jones says more small businesses around here every day are announcing that they are now permanently closed. That's awful. Yes, Susan. Let's hope Tyson doesn't cannibalize any more ears. I remember watching that fight. Tyson's story is a tragic story when you really listen to it, and it's fascinating. But he has gotten his life together. I know it took him a long time to do it. I know he did a lot of wrong in his life, but I think he's finally at peace. But it's weird to me. I was surprised by this news. It's weird to me that he wants to box again because he said in a recent interview, wasn't that long ago, less than a year ago on Rogan, that he's afraid to even work out because it makes him violent. Yeah, Heath. Yeah, that would be awesome. Biden always wants to fight. He said, I want to see Jesse Ventura put Biden into the body breaker. Biden's always trying to fight people, so that would be fantastic. Keel says Tyson is awesome. He still hits like a truck. He's still fast as hell, too. I was watching a video of him working out, just messing around, and he is quick. He's very fast. A lot of people forget how fast Mike Tyson was. He was very powerful, but a big part of his threat was how quick he was. Kilo says Jesse's gonna run. He doesn't have a chance, but glad he'll run. He'll shake it up. No, he don't. He don't have a chance. The Green Party votes get flipped to Democrat votes. I really believe they do. Our elections are rigged. And third party's not really a viable option at the presidential level, but it would be nice to get them that 5%, and it would be nice to get Jesse on the debate stage. So these would be little goals that we could achieve that would be nice, but I think it would be exciting. It'd be fun. And it would be great to see Biden snap and pick a fight with him. I think that would be highly entertaining. Yeah, Jesse was a Navy SEAL. A lot of people don't realize that. He was a Navy SEAL. They forget that. He's a legit badass. Let's see. I went through my notes. What do you guys want to get into? We got a little bit of time left. I thought it was funny how Elon Musk is getting tore apart in the media. Anyone that speaks out against these restrictions and the lockdowns gets torn to shreds. I found tons of stories of people ripping him apart. This one in particular says Elon Musk goes on privileged Trump-esque anti-lockdown Twitter spree. Trump-esque. That's a heavy, heavy insult. Privileged. Am I privileged? I'm just an essential restaurant worker, and I think this is ridiculous. Am I saying that from a place of privilege? I, I don't know. He says, could you imagine Ventura, Biden, and Trump in a debate? That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? You got senile, creepy old Joe, and then Trump and Jesse the Body Ventura. That'd be amazing. Blue says Ventura is different. He will appeal to the populist faction that elected Trump. Don't underestimate Jesse. Oh, I think Jesse would do very well. I think Jesse would do very well. But I think the election's rigged in that way. I don't. I think Jill got 5%. Do you? How do you feel about that? Like, I believe that Jill got at least, probably at least like 10. I for sure got 5, not 1. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that was accurate. But I think it's demonstrable that these voting machines are easily manipulated, and it can be rigged by a high school student. Our elections are a sham for the most part. Let's see. He says it's a show for the people anyway. We should get our money's worth, right? It is a show. It, especially on the presidential level, it's just a charade to make you feel like you got to be involved. We need to tear it down and rebuild it. Kilo says the problem is that if this is a real pandemic or the next one, the population won't trust the government or anyone for the most part, which is going to be bad at some point. Yeah. But haven't they done that to themselves? The government, with their lack of trust? Haven't they done that to themselves? I think they're responsible for that. Jones says by the time they open things up, nobody will even have gas money to get to work. I don't know anybody who even got any unemployment yet. The unemployment system's jammed up. They weren't prepared. They can't deal with it. You know, it's up to what, 30 million people now on unemployment? Estimated to hit as high as 50? This is crazy. And I wish I hadn't closed the page now. But we're still in. I am terrible with numbers. But it was like 60,000 deaths. Have we. I hate saying it, but it's misdiagnosed. It's overdiagnosed. I don't think that every diagnosis of this is actually that. It could be multiple things. I think they're inflating the numbers. I don't agree with this lockdown, and they're doing this to themselves with the lack of trust. Yeah, you're right. Kilo says we're the ones who are going to pay the price for the mistrust in the end. We're screwed either way. You're right. He says the government as a whole deserves whatever punishment we decide to give them. We need to bring back tarring and feathering. Brittany shared to the page today a post about how politicians have forgotten what it's like to be tarred and feathered. They're getting away with murder, literally, and it needs to come to an end. And the way that it does is by us exposing it. We have to wake people up. We're the media. That stuff still carries over from the Daily Burn show. That stuff's all true. We spread the truth. We wake people up. And that's what we have to do. And that's the only way that we're going to make advances and make improvements in society moving forward, is waking more people up, getting them aware. But the government isn't going to help us. And they're just there to see how much they can get away with, basically. Jones says they get more money if they determine the death is Rona. They're encouraged to diagnose it as Rona. These are facts. It's true. There's doctors that are trying to speak out about it, but they're being suppressed. He says yes to the tar and feather. Right? You know, in other countries, they'll grab these crooked politicians and they'll throw them in dumpsters. You know, ours are a little spoiled. They've lost touch with that. You know, there used to be mob rule. We used to take care of this stuff. Susan says, my nephew got his unemployment kicked down. He's okay while he's on lockdown in Paso Robles, California. He's very accepting that he needs to keep his baby son safe. I appreciate that, I guess. I don't worry about viruses. I never have, and I don't know that I ever will. Something is eventually going to kill me, but I'm not going to live my life in fear over it. You know, I understand if someone wants to be careful, but like the mask I'm wearing at work, for example, doesn't keep me from getting sick. It keeps me from getting other people sick. So if you wanted to be careful, wouldn't you just get the N95 masks and just be careful? That's the one that keeps you from getting sick. Why does everyone have to wear a mask? I don't understand why everyone's life has to change and everything has to be different for everybody to be careful from a sickness. I don't know. I've never changed my life over fear of getting sick. Maybe I am speaking from a place of privilege, but I don't think that'd be normal. It seems really weird to me. It would be. I wouldn't want to live that way, afraid of germs and afraid of getting sick. Kilo says that the political parties made mob rule ineffective. It's divide and conquer, split us up in little groups. It makes us easily controllable. Susan says, stop whining about your stuffy mask, Shawn. I hate that mask. Oh my God, I can't stand it. And they're so hot. You know, wearing that thing for 9 hours, it drives me crazy. I don't want to do it. I don't want it. I don't consent. I hate that mask. I really do. Lisa says you can be a germ carrier without having any symptoms. That's why you should wear a mask. So we should have been wearing masks all along, all the time, and we should just wear them forever? You know, or is it just because this is so super dangerous? Just this one time we're going to wear masks. Or we should have always worn masks and always should. Yeah, I live in rural Missouri, and Missouri hasn't been hit hard by the Rona. But statistically, no one has. You know, his numbers aren't that high compared to what they were saying. They've even admitted it, that it didn't end up meeting their expectations, how dangerous they thought it was going to be. They've given themselves a lot of credit for why that is, but I think why that is because they overhyped it. Blue says a ton of dumbasses on North Florida beaches, mostly folks from Georgia. They need to go back to their own states. Yeah, the Florida governor opening up the beaches, that's irresponsible. I don't agree with stuff like that, but maybe I do, though. I don't know. Because I see both sides of it. If you're not going out to the beach, aren't you okay? Those people, or is it that everyone's life has to stop because of this virus? Is it that severe? What evidence is there to justify that it's that severe that life has to stop? Everyone's life has to stop. That it can't just be those that want to be, you know, careful and take a lot of extra precautions, that they just do that. We have to all social distance. There has to be decals on the floor to show people where to stand. We have to wear masks in public. And I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Joan says, wait till the food shortages hit. You should have seen, I saw a video today of a line for a food pantry, and it was in Africa, but it was a helicopter shot, and it went on for miles. It's scary. It's going on all over the world, and we've been sheltered by a lot of the worst of it. Lisa says this virus is 10 times more contagious than other viruses. I'm not a doctor, but I have watched a lot of videos of doctors talking about how this is overdiagnosed and that it is not deadly for one, has like less than 0.5 mortality rate. There is a specific video I'm specifically talking about right now that was all over YouTube, and it's been taken down from everywhere. I'm glad I didn't share it to my channel. I almost did, but I'm glad I didn't, because I probably would have had my channel took down. But it was these doctors trying to explain that this fear is actually making things worse. But I'm so tired of talking about the Rona. There's certain things I'm just really sick of talking about. Rona, Joe Biden, and then I've just been trying to avoid it. I'm not really sick of it, but Bernie, I don't. These are like three things. I wish there was more stuff to talk about. Like, we can talk about Star Wars. Let's talk about Star Wars. Jones says Pennsylvania has a lot of cases, but don't know the count this time. But we get constant traffic from New York and New Jersey. He says, has anyone heard from Ginger? I have not seen Ginger in a little while, but I know that time to time she takes breaks from Facebook, which is probably smart. But I don't know that I've heard from her in a few days. Hey, Lori, you're here. I was talking about your feed. What was the name of that document that you were talking about on Sunday? I have to download that document. I have to look that up. Lori says murder is happening in New York hospitals. Susan says, let's talk about the VP of Amazon resigning. That's a boss with integrity. So he resigned over the Amazon strikes? Was it a matter of integrity? Is that why he did it? I'd have to look up that story. There it is. Thank you, Lori. Scenarios for the future of technologies and international development. It's an interesting document, and they talk about exactly what's going on right now. And again, I'm not saying that there's not something going on. I'm saying they're using it. They're using it. And I think that's clear. I don't think that's crazy or me making something up. But they've always used every crisis. They've never let a good crisis go to waste. Matter of fact, Hillary Clinton was just talking the other day about how it would be irresponsible to let this crisis go to waste. They love taking advantage of stuff like this. It's what they do. So I don't see giving them all this trust, you know. But I don't understand. And again, I'm surrounded by cornfields. I get that. So I live in the middle of rural Missouri. I'm not affected by this. So I really have no right to comment on it. I honestly don't. If I don't live in a densely populated area, I really shouldn't be speaking on it. And I would be glad to stop speaking on the Rona. He said, yep, He resigned saying he couldn't stand aside while 5 employees got fired over May 1st striking. What? That's awesome. We should celebrate that dude. What's his name? I should give him a shout out. Thanks for putting that link in there, Lori. I appreciate that. I got to download that. I want a hard copy of that. Because that was a fascinating stream. And you should check out Lori's stream on Sunday for more information on that document I was talking about. Kilo says he resigned with a fat check. Did he get a severance package? Well, at least he took a stand with the employees and resigned. I'm gonna still give him something for that. Like, you know how when you were little they gave you like a gold star if you cleaned your room. We'll give him a gold star. That's it. It's nothing really. It's just a gold star on a board. Kilo says the VP of Amazon. Is that who she was talking about? Hold on, let me go back up. Yep, the VP of Amazon. Well, I'm awful at this part of the show, but this is the part of the show where we wrap up for the night. I have to get up early tomorrow for a doctor's appointment, and I gotta wrap up the show a little early tonight because I am tired. I've been working a lot this week. Being an essential employee is fun, isn't it? Are any of you essential out there? I've been slammed at work. We're so busy. I don't understand how we can be in a lockdown and we can be so busy. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I expected the streets to be empty. You know, it doesn't really look like what a lockdown would look like. Now, New York does. When I look at streams of their streets, that looks weird. There's a stream that you can look at that's Times Square. It's creepy because that's usually packed with people. And it's not right now, so it's creepy. Tim Bray. Tim Bray is his name. But thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow we'll do a longer one. I don't know. I just am feeling really out of it right now. So we're going to wrap up for that. I don't know why I'm being so honest. I guess because I feel bad. I always feel bad when I wrap up. I don't know why. I get attached. You guys are my buddies. But I will see you tomorrow for the show. And let me know what you guys want to talk about on Wednesday night. Wednesday night is conspiracy night. We have fun and talk about conspiracies and hang out and just have a good time. But I need a topic because I always try to make a video for you. And we watch the video and then we talk about that and anything else. So any topic you guys want to get into Wednesday night, let me know. But thanks for watching and hanging out with us. And I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I'm learning more of the time zones. But I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching.